Hello, everyone. Here's my informational interview where I interviewed Stacey Roberts. So, a little bit of background about Stacey Roberts. There's a picture of her here on the right that I took from her LinkedIn page. She works at Conemaugh Hospital and she works in the marketing and communications department as the social media coordinator and the internship coordinator. So I thought that it would be helpful just for you to understand a little bit about what Stacy does every day and some of like the key takeaways of her every day at Conemaugh in the marketing department. So she just said that no day is ever the same. She does different things every single day. And in healthcare, it's a very fast-paced environment. She works with website development, social media, press releases for any new events or anything. She works with employee newsletters, anything new that might be going on at Conemaugh Hospital, and also in media relations, additionally with graphics, advertising, and video production. So that definitely is a lot. So you definitely would be doing different things all the time. So a little bit about Conemaugh Health Systems. This is actually the largest provider in healthcare in Western PA. It serves over 500,000 patients every year and employs over 5,000 clinical and non-clinical staff and over 450 physicians. Additionally, they offer specialized services such as a level one trauma center, intensive care nursery, and a high risk obstetrical care. So a little bit about their mission, vision, and values. Their mission is to make communities healthier. Their vision is to create places where people choose to come for healthcare, where physicians want to work, and where employees want to work. And they also have 5 or 6 pairing values. And these values are compassion, always put the patient first, respect, no excuses, great attitudes. So with these caring values, you definitely get the impression that they have very good company culture and have really good values. So, once I decided which areas of organizational behavior I wanted to focus on, I chose first the personality and values. So, after looking into the background of Kanema, I kind of thought that the organization really seemed to care about good principles and values with those 5 caring values that I just talked about. So, I wanted to focus on that aspect and kind of see if what their goals were and what they said was actually lined up with reality once I spoke with Stacy and kind of see what she said about their personality and values. And so, yeah, again, just wanting to match up to make sure if their goals do match up with their reality. And to me, values is definitely one of the most important aspects of a company. It just shows um, that this company is who they say they are and what's important to them. So it's definitely something that I wanted to focus on. And the second aspect I wanted to focus on was leadership. So this is another aspect that I find very important in an organization and especially in marketing. So you have to be able to lead others and keep people motivated and facilitate be able to create creative thinking. So these were some of the questions that I was most interested in asking Stacy and how she keeps how does she stay creative. So, for some of the key takeaways after the interviewing process, for the personality was I found these skills, she really reiterated this, how important these skills were in this industry. I thought it was at the top of the list is the communication skills. And I thought this was interesting because I know that we talk a lot about this in our class, how in a lot of classes, business related, how important communication skills are and being able to communicate with other people. She also mentioned interpersonal skills, technical skills, problem solving, critical thinking, and writing skills. She really talked about how you really need to know how to talk to other people. And one thing that I thought was kind of interesting is she talked a lot about being able to relate to different generations and how you have to talk differently to different generations. And she explained how she talks to her interns is completely different than how she talks to her colleagues or how she talks to her superiors. So I thought that was kind of interesting and very relevant. And for values, She talked a lot about rewards and what it means, like what is rewarding to her being in the marketing department. So she just talked about being able to help others, even if she's not in the clinical setting directly helping. She talks about being able to help people in an indirect type of way. So, yeah, she's not the surgeon helping people, but maybe her marketing and her advertising may help push someone to donate blood or come in and get a screening that could potentially save their lives. So she really talks about this job gives her a lot of value, and that's one thing that I'm really looking for with trying to find a job later. I really want to do something where I feel like I'm making a positive impact and not just like a number in an organization. So for leadership, the key takeaways I found here was she really reiterated the importance of education. And again, going back to being able to communicate with other people. And I thought this was interesting. She says about when you're working with other people, um, like with you're working with doctors, and you really need to be able to communicate with them, and you need to be able to understand and be able to share knowledge. So she talked about how important it is to get your master's, and if you're even thinking about doing your doctorate, how it's very effective in this type of a role. She also taught, I also was very interested in creative thinking, what she does to stay motivated, and how she comes up with new ideas and such. So she talked about innovation, and she talked about how a lot of people kind of misinterpret what this means. They think that it needs to be something completely out of the box, completely random, and completely different. And she said, no, that's really not what it means. It can be something small, even if it makes the tiniest of a difference. It can make something, just a little bit quicker or faster. That is going to make a huge difference. And she also talks about how she doesn't believe in, like, there's no wrong answer. So she talks about the importance of asking questions and not feeling stupid if you ask that question. And also, she talks a lot about the importance of having an open door policy, inviting people to share knowledge. So then, for relating this back to organizational behavior for personality, right away I thought of the Big Five model, where we have extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, openness to experience. So there's a strongly supported relationship between these five characteristics and how someone is going to perform in their job. So, just taking a look at extroversion and openness to experience, someone who is extroverted has better interpersonal skills, is more socially dominant. So, this person might be a better performer. And for openness to experience, this person is going to be more creative, which also helps to be a better leader. And for values, um, so strong values definitely set the foundation for many for work attitudes and motivation and behavior. So having a good value, and like I talked about earlier, it's really important for everyone to understand the attitudes and motivation and behavior. So then to relate this back to organizational behavior for the leadership aspect, um, there was two types of leadership I took a look at. So we have the people oriented, and this is more concerned about the individual, open door policy, no stupid questions. So I kind of thought that Stacy had a very people oriented leadership style. Even though I've never had the chance to work with her, she definitely seemed like she had this type of leadership style just by the way she talked about the no stupid question, open door policy. So she seemed to really want to help people and not just care so much about getting the task done. But she also did seem very task oriented as well, like just how she talked about everything that she has to get done. And she also spoke about there just being so much stuff that she doesn't have enough hours in the day to get it done. So it's important for her to figure out new ways of doing things. And also, she seemed very charismatic to me. We talked about charismatic leadership, and this is just someone who gains followers through personality, not really through authority or power. So, some traits of these people might be they have very great vision, risk taking, they're sensitive towards followers, which I definitely think that Stacey is. She seems very caring of other people, and very different unconventional behaviors. So for the impact, what kind of impact did I get out of this? Just the one of the things that I asked her was how what is it like to communicate and how many people does that take to get her job done? And she says that she speaks with about 50 to 100 people every single day. And that number was just astonishing to me. I was expecting her to say like 5, 10, some people. So I was really surprised at the amount of people that she says she has to communicate with every day to get her job done. So I thought that was very interesting. And also taking a look at extroverted and introverted. Uh, for me, I've always been more of an introverted person, like more on the shyer side. Getting through college definitely has helped me come out of my shell and get in uncomfortable situations and things. So for me, it's just kind of working, like it really shows me how I need to really learn better communication and be able to communicate effectively with others. And definitely, this is not the type of job where you come in day after day and do the same thing over and over. So I like that, how every day is different. I definitely wouldn't want to feel like how I talked about earlier, just being a number in an organization. I definitely want to feel like what I'm doing matters. And what I really liked is how she talked about the reward that she gets, where she feels very satisfied by what she does. And even though she's not helping directly, she feels that what she's doing actually is helping people. And that's definitely something that I'm really looking for in a job. So, just a few other questions that I thought were worth sharing and that I really wanted to ask her. I really wanted to know what she thought about her education. So, I just wanted to know if she thought that her education, her undergraduate was at UPJ. So, I just wanted to know how well did college prepare her for her career once she left. And she said that it really much helped to prepare her and that she learned a lot of basic skills and real world experience. And she said that that is really important. And that once you get this strong base and foundation, that once you go out and have your own experience, this is really going to, like, you'll develop it on your own. So she said that her experience with her education really did do a lot for her. And then additionally, I wanted to ask her what her best advice was for a college student. So she talked about always trying to improve yourself and being the best version of yourself every day. And she also said, don't be afraid to ask questions. And she really, really talked about sharing knowledge with other people and how a lot of times people, they don't want to talk to other people about what they're doing, kind of in fear of someone else maybe knowing what they're doing and doing it better in fear of losing their job. And she really said that in an organization, you need to know what other people are doing to be able to work effectively together. So she really talked about sharing knowledge, asking what other people are doing, knowing what other people's jobs are and how they do it. So I thought that was a very interesting thing to learn. So overall, I really learned a great deal from this project, and it really gave me a good sight as to my major and what it's going to be like in the real world after, and really showing me that this really does it is really what I'm looking for. So I'm really glad that I got the opportunity. And here are my references.